So there we have it. Here is my 2005 987 Boxster S, which I seem to have neglected over the last few months. So we're going to jump in the car, go for a little drive. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. So we have a jump pack on, let's go. So what has been happening with this car? In truth, I haven't been using it. I haven't used it at all because I don't think I've used it in the last 2 or 3 months really. And that is because I have another daily and I haven't really been going to any Porsche related events, which is where I mainly use this car. For my day-to-day duties, I have started using that Golf GTI that I bought in a previous video, which is doing really well. And it's just meant that I haven't been reaching for the Boxster keys as regularly as I probably should. So this has just been parked up, off the road, out of sight, for a couple of months now. And also a reason why I haven't reached for the keys for this car is because it's had so many small niggles with it that mean it's always a bit of a faff if I want to take it out. Well, I'm going to be going through those small issues and bringing it up to standard where it is perfectly turnkey, which is not the state it's in at the moment. So these issues that I'm going to be addressing today is one, the ignition switch, which has actually been an issue since I bought the car, and all it means is when you put the key in, you have to jiggle it a little bit to turn, and also hot starts have come back to be an issue again. Some other issues are also the appearance of this car. The headlights look yellow and aged, which is just one of those things that needs to be kept on top of, so we're going to be restoring those. And also my front central grille has fallen out. We're going to be jumping into that, getting that sorted, so hopefully I can now use this as my daily. First of all, because this car has been parked up for so long, we're going to give it a wash. Let's go. All right, so the next issue that we are moving on to is going to be the ignition switch. Now, the issue here with the ignition switch is just that it's a bit loose, and sometimes to get the car started, you can see that nothing's happened there. But when you jiggle the key around, then you see nothing's happening, jiggle, and then it turns off, which is one of those things, your first impression of the car is turning the key, and it's something that's just got incredibly frustrating with this car for me. From the same breakers yard that I got the central console from, I also bought a new ignition switch, and just to test it out, I put my key in, and you can feel that there's no play in that, and it's a really nice motion. But I forgot that these are electric, so it won't release the key until there's power going to it. So that key is stuck in there for the time being, but that's all right. I have a spare. So we're going to remove this, and hopefully it should just be a nice plug and play. That sounded like a snap, so hopefully I didn't do anything. All intact. Nice. So off comes that. So there we go, that is now loose. And I can see inside there are some tutorials online which will say to drop all of this down, but from what I can see, I reckon I should be able to do this without. So I'm going to pop this side panel out as well, just so I get some better visibility. Now, there isn't much additional visibility there, but just enough. I'll also remove this again, just so I can see, and the way you do that is you just push it, twist it all the way to the left, push it, and then half turn to the right, and that just pops out. Look at that. So now I'm going to have to get up from underneath. Oh. And I can just see through this crack here. Oh, this could be, dropping the dash could be the solution here, because this is really fiddly. How do people get their hands through there? There is just no space. Oh, no, I found a little bit of wiggle room here. I'm in. I can just go. So I've just squeezed the connector, and with any luck, out it comes. So there's the old one. I'll just move you to see if you can see what I'm looking at. So just a little side by side, the part numbers are exactly the same. This one's made in 2006 rather than 2005. So hopefully it doesn't have the same issues. The issue here is going to be fitting this back inside there. Unless I do it, unless I turn the power on, I think I'll do that. Turn the power on just to release this key. All right, I'll try and fit this in with the key attached, but there is not much room down here. All right, it is in. If you've got big arms, this probably is not the job for you. I think that should be on. That is a job that I've actually been putting off because of how involved I thought it was. But I mean, what did that take? Less than 10 minutes? So all I need to do is screw the little piece of plastic back on here. So let's give this a go, because I mean, starting your car, you know, you just take it for granted, the fact that you put your key in the car and it starts. But on this, I've never known when it's going to. So in we go, foot on clutch. Ooh, nice and easy. Let's try and off. Off, perfect. Now onto these buttons here. Now these have gone floppy just like that, and that has happened because when I've done the short shifter install and the transmission cables, having this come in and out quite a few times, it did actually catch the front of that, and a little piece of plastic inside actually went missing, so I've lost that somewhere. So the button for the traction control and the spoiler don't work, so I've bought another one, and what I need is this piece inside, and that's what gives the buttons structure. So out with that one. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. I don't have a tripod with me at the moment, but in with this one. And there you go. That's a nice, easy fix. And I bought this assembly from a breaker's yard on eBay for a couple of pounds. There you go, on and off. Perfect. All right, the next fix I have changed because this is going to involve a bit of crawling around on the ground. And the next fix, as you can see, is this central bumper, which sort of got cracked when I hit a deer a while ago. That cracked, it's been holding on for a while, but recently it has just let go and went flying down the road. So again, from a breaker's yard, look at that. It's got one of those. That then clips into this, which sits behind there, like that. And really the ease, you know, for ease of access, best to take this bumper off. I've just watched a video on how involved it is taking this bumper off, and once it's off, I bet it won't go back on how it was meant to be. So I'm gonna give it a go without taking the bumper off. Let's get into it. So the main thing is getting this behind there, which doesn't look too difficult. With everything here being plastic, you can just sort of bend everything into place. So there you go, that is in there. But now, so I'm gonna see if I can get my hand underneath to hold onto that, to then clip this into place. But this bumper goes back quite far. And there we go, clip back into place. So we've got this. Let's get it on there. So we're inside because we're going to be fixing that hot start issue. Now, what causes that hot start issue is that sort of grounding terminal that is in the passenger footwell and comes out near the battery. That is what gives the power from the battery to the starter motor. The way to fix that is to put a thread onto the terminal and then put a bolt on to hold the wire in place, because there can be it can get loose and there can be corrosion in there. I have tried that before, but I didn't do it properly. So we're going to be doing it again. But because I'd already tried it, I needed a new one. So I had to buy this whole fuse box thing from a breaker car off eBay. But all I need is that. So that does just pop straight out. It's an M9, so I'm going to give that a bit of a go and see if I can put a thread on here. There we go. So this is the new one that I actually got machined, and you can see that the one that I did myself, the threads are a bit flat. So that's actually an M9 size of bolt, which is why a bolt couldn't quite sit on there properly. This has been ground down, so it is a little bit shorter, but that is an M8, so I can get a proper bolt on there with some really sharp teeth. So that isn't coming off. But yeah, let's just chuck this in. Also, you can see because we've lost a little bit of room on the end, it's not going to fit. So I am going to have to slice this bit off with an angle grinder. Hate angle grinders, but with a bit of luck, there we go. We've got enough room to get a bolt on the end. Perfect. Let's get this chucked in. So here's a test of that hot start issue fix. So I've just been on quite a long drive. So the engine is nice and hot, as you can see. Let's give this a go. Yeah, it's still a bit slow. So maybe there's something else at work, but it's not as slow as it has been. There you have it. Those are all the fixes done to this car, and it's actually starting to take shape and become a bit more usable. So I'm pleased that I've got that all done, because I do have a meet that I am going to tomorrow. And yeah, stay tuned for that. See you in the next one.